What up with it? What up with it? Supreme Beast Boxing Talk, man. It's your boy Cadillac Red. This is interviews though. Y'all know usually when we do interviews though, it's usually a boxer or a boxing influencer or someone that has to do with the sport. This is going to be something a little bit different. This is going to be something I like to call writer's block, where we like to get a book. We're going to break down the book and the author of the book, and we're going to, you know what I'm saying, get a little bit of history on them. You get to know a little bit about them and a little bit about the book to pick up or whatnot, because we all know, you know what I'm saying.
Reading is fundamental. Read? Yeah, motherfucker. I ain't no criminal. I can't read, bitch.
Believe that, you know what I'm saying. What up with it? Supreme Beast Boxing Talk. I'm saying it's your boy Cadillac Red. This is interviews though. Like I said, it's gonna be something a little bit different. We doing authors, you know what I'm saying, authors of books. So today, I got the first author, Thomas Few. His book is Master the Credit Game. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So Thomas, go ahead and you could go ahead and let us know. Give me a little bit of your background. Let me know a little bit about you.
Okay, cool, man. Definitely appreciate it, man. And first things first, thanks for having me on the show, man. I always, glad to, jump on whenever I can. But yeah, as far as my background, I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio born and raised. So definitely represent that OH10, man. I know y'all saw them Buckeyes killing it today. I hope so. But yeah, I'm born and raised in Ohio. My background, I've been in financial services pretty much the last probably 20 plus years or so since I finished up school. So, everything from, being in banking to real estate to underwriting to insurance. So, there's kind of a diverse background on the financial services side. So, that's kind of, in a nutshell, kind of what I've been doing over the last 20 years, man.
Okay. Now, I seen in the beginning of the book, it say you got 4 kids. I laughed as soon as I read it. I said, damn, Thomas shoot the club up. He do not care.
Oh, man, I ain't messing around, dog. I'm not just playing them seeds. I'm playing them seeds to make them grow.
Believe that. He like, yo, it's beef up in here. I'm shooting them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Okay,
yeah,
so.
For sure, man. I got 4 boys, man.
Yeah, you broke up a little bit on me. Can you can still hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. So what made you write the book?
Well, it's been something that I really wanted to do for a long time. I'm in the field of real estate right now, and I run into so many people, especially black people for sure, that come to me that think they can't buy a home because their credit is jacked up. You know what I mean? They feel like that's a major barrier for them. They don't know what to really do to get in the best position to purchase a home. So that's one of the reasons, there's always certain key things that I'm telling people to try to get them in a position to purchase a home. So I say, why don't I put this in a book so I can impact more people more than anything else? I just want the information to get out there.
Okay. Now, a lot of people don't know the importance of credit. And I'm more street with it, and a lot of people think that credit is just something that the plug give you when you buy something, you getting one back. Now, it is that,
right,
but this is on a legitimate scale. So break down the importance of credit and how's that gonna help you out right now?
I mean, it's just like you just said, as far as the plug giving you credit to put you on so you can get going, credit is leverage is what it is. So I mean, it puts you in a position where, you can go out, based upon your credit profile, based upon a 3-digit number, your FICO score, you can go out and use that as leverage to go out and make major purchases, to start businesses, basically to get the funding to do what you're trying to do to get yourself to the next level or next position. I like to call credit the great equalizer. When you think about, most of us weren't born with a silver spoon. We didn't inherit a bunch of money. So how can we close that gap between those people that already got their head start? And the answer is by leveraging our credit to get us in a position so we can become wealthy, to start, building that wealth for our family and setting ourselves up.
Okay. Now, I had a couple questions that I wrote that I wanted to ask you, and I got from like various people about this. my first one is what would you consider to be good credit in 2020?
So when you say, I mean, there's different levels of credit. So, I mean, when you think about, as far as your credit score, when you think about your FICO score, it can range anywhere from a low end of a 300 up to a perfect credit score of 850. So when you're looking at going out and financing something, what they say is A plus prime credit is typically anything that's 740 or above. It's usually going to be A plus prime credit. Now, once you get over to about a 680 plus, you can do pretty much everything that you need to do. But, you know, getting over that 740 or 700 plus, they like to call it, that's what's usually going to get you the best interest rates, save you the most money, and really, you know, allow you to go out and do pretty much whatever you want to do with your credit.
Okay. Now, I wanted to ask you. Okay, so let's say your credit is bad. You didn't had some credit cards you done ran off on. You tried to run off on the plug, basically, and you ran off on the man, and now now you can't get shit when you need to go back. What would be the best moves you should make to get your credit right after? Let's say you in debt. So you in debt or whatnot, and from making purchases or whatnot, and you got to get it right.
So the first thing you got to do is you got to take a long look in the mirror, man, and start with where you are. You know, you got to get a copy of that credit report. You can go to annualcreditreport.com, get free copies. There's all kinds of different sources you can use to get a copy. But that's the first thing is you got to look at it, you know, and go ahead and take that on the chin and say, okay, here's what it is. This is where I'm at. This is where I'm starting at. Then from there, what you want to start doing is start working on, number one, cleaning up some of those negative items. Now, you know, it's a misconception out there. You thinking, you know, just because, you know, okay, you're looking at your credit report and thinking, okay, it's mine. I messed it up. You know, I ran that credit card up and I didn't pay it. So it's mine, so I can't get it off. But what you're doing when you're actually disputing it on an item on your credit report is you're not disputing whether or not it happens. What you're disputing is the accuracy of that entry on your credit profile. Because any creditor out there has to meet over 300 pieces of criteria in order to have an item on your credit report. So that means it has to be at a high level, 100% accurate. It has to be 100% timely, meaning it fits within your state's statute of limitations as far as how long they can report that. And it has to be 100% verifiable, meaning that they have all the proper criteria to verify that that truly does belong to you. In most cases, especially with like old collection accounts and things like that, they don't have the information to verify it, and that's how we're able to use like the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which is legislation, you know, out there to protect you as a consumer. We use the laws in there to help get a lot of those items removed.
Okay.
Then the third piece of that, just to bring it home, it's only one part of the equation as far as deleting the negative items. You also got to start building positive history going forward. So we may, you know, recommend using some different credit builder products, whether it be secured credit cards and different things like that, to start showing you how to build that positive credit so you can offset a lot of the negative history that you've had in the past. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, believe that. First thing first, go ahead and listen to that Michael Jackson. Look at the man in the mirror, because you probably are the one fucking up your credit. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and get that right. And then after you realize that, you know, it's pretty. I didn't even know. Like, yo, you could dispute a lot of that shit and get it deleted. I just thought, yo, you gonna have to pay like you did it. If you did it, you gotta. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't do it, then you could show that you ain't do it. I ain't know that you could really. It's all that extra stuff. That's a good gem right there. That's a good gem right there.
Oh yeah, man. You have the right. That's what the Fair Credit Reporting Act is all about. You got the right to dispute anything that's on your credit report. It's on the creditor's burden of proof to prove that they're reporting it 100% accurately like they're supposed to.
Okay. Now, I'm in a situation right now where I have good credit, but the lenders won't lend me enough to get what I need for a house. What would be my options, or what would be the steps that I should take?
So it's two different things when you're looking at qualifying for like a mortgage for a house. So of course, one part of it is being credit worthy. So so if you have the credit score, and quite honestly, you can get qualified from a credit score wise. You can have a credit score as low as a 580 and still get qualified for a mortgage, believe it or not. So that's one part of it. So getting the credit straight. On the other side of it, when you're qualifying for a mortgage, they're also going to look at what's called your debt to income ratio. And basically what that is they're going to take your gross month, how much money you make in a month. So they'll take the total amount. They're going to subtract out any debts that you have. So if you got like credit card payments, things like that, they subtract that number out. And then that number that's left over helps them to determine how much mortgage you can qualify for. So it's two different sides of the equation. So the key thing is, number one, of course, you're doing the right thing, getting your credit score up as high as possible, because that's going to help you as far as keeping your interest rates low. And then on the other end of that, it's either to qualify for more money, you either have to, number one, pay off existing debt, or number two, you got to bring in more money. So that means, getting a higher paying job, taking on a second job, starting a business, whatever that case may be, to increase your cash flow.
Okay. So yeah, that's basically what it boiled down to in a nutshell. You just gonna have to bring more in. That debt to income ratio is what I'm looking like. All right. That's good info right there. Let me ask you this one. When you are messing with lenders and they run your credit, now that they bring your credit score down. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, so anytime you're doing what they call a hard inquiry, that's basically when you're applying for credit. So that's applying for a mortgage, applying to get that car, applying to get a credit card. If it's a hard inquiry, it can ding your credit score usually about 2 to 3 points per hard inquiry. But if you're out there doing what they call rate shopping, meaning, okay, say I'm in the market to get a mortgage, and I want to check a few different lenders to see who's going to give me the best offer, FICO gives you a 45-day window where you can pretty much go out and rate shop while you're doing that, and they're only going to ding your credit once during that window. If that makes sense.
Oh shit! So okay. So because that was my issue too. I was worried about, like, I holler at one lender and I feel like they was on some foolishness, and then I holler at another lender. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't want to give them my info and all that stuff to run it, because I'm like, yo, if everybody keep hitting me, then I'm gonna have bad credit just from getting it ran. But if I got a window to do it and it's all one time, then yeah, that's how you do it. That way we could leave no stone unturned.
That's it. That's just basically going out, making sure you're getting the absolute best deal. Now, if you go out and just apply for a bunch of different credit cards and random stuff, you're going to get dinged every time. But if you just shopping maybe for a car or shopping maybe for a house, you got that window to kind of play in there. So
Okay. Now, does all this stuff, as far as with the house go, does that apply to business? Or is business and credit totally different from, like, is that a separate conversation than what we was having just now?
So you're saying as far as like getting business funding, or just making sure I'm answering your question right?
Yeah. I mean, like business funding, or like to start up a business, or how would you do? Like, do you transfer? Because I heard someone say you need like 5 lines of credit, right? And it would be your business credit. You would have your own personal credit. You would have family credit. And then he said if you had your business along with other people's businesses lined up, you could have that as a line of credit. And I forgot what the last one was, but he was saying to do, you know what I'm saying? The guy was saying to have open lines, basically. So how would I go about making business credit from nothing?
So, I mean, when it comes to generating business credit, I mean, number one, and there's a couple different approaches you can take. But the first way is, number one, getting your personal credit as strong as possible. So when you start working to build that business credit for that business that you've established, you can use yourself as what they call a personal guarantor, meaning you're going to sign your name on the line. It's kind of like, I'm backing this. I got this strong personal credit, and now I'm trying to get business credit established in my business name. Now, you can also establish credit just in your business name, and it takes a lot longer. You have to go through, number one, you have to make sure your business is set up properly and structured right. So you got to, go to your Secretary of State, set up your either incorporate or, get your LLC or whatever you're going to do. You got to make sure that you have a business address. You got to have a listed business phone number. Basically, you got to legitimize your business to, show the lender that you are, a real business out there. Then from there, you can go out. There's different companies you can go through that you can actually get what's called trade lines to start out. And that's kind of how you start building up your business credit profile. Just like your personal credit, there's also credit reporting agencies that track your business credit as well. But you have to go through certain stages to kind of build up that profile so you can get larger and larger credit lines as you go through the process.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like basically you just gotta the main step would be to legitimize. I think that's the main problem that I feel like people have when they have their business and they want to, you know what I'm saying, establish credit with it, is the legitimacy of it. No more under the table.
For sure.
No more under the table shit, people. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Yeah.
You just called it, man.
Yeah,
Everybody just saw it, when they were giving out all these SBA bands, everybody was trying to go out and get them. The people didn't have their stuff structured right, they couldn't get it. But if you had everything set up, you can go get that money.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. How would you use your credit to be an investor? Or is that possible?
So when you say investor, are you talking about investing in real estate or like investing in the stock market or what type of
investing in stock market, if you're going to invest in real estate. Let's start with stocks first. How would you use your credit to invest in stocks?
So, it's definitely something you can do. Primarily it would be whether you took out a line of credit, where you have access to the cash, or if you were to do like an advance on credit card, which I wouldn't recommend, but you would basically be leveraging that credit, taking that cash out, throwing it in the market to get a return, hopefully, and then putting that money back to pay off the debt and then taking your profit from that. So you can use it that way. Or, if you're thinking about, real estate, of course, if you're going out to try to be a real estate investor, of course, you can leverage that credit to go out and buy that investment property, use the money from that loan to also, use it to rehab a property or, fix it up. Then from there, once you sell that property, you take the money, pay out the loan, and you keep your profit on top of it.
Yeah, and that's kind of like one of them home fix-it shows and shit that be on TV. You know what I'm saying?
Like the fix and flip, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
We need a black one. We definitely need a black show like that. You know what I'm saying? I can't be watching it. It's hard. It's you know what I'm saying? It make me I'd be bad. It make me bad on the inside.
So,
but I understand. You know what I'm saying? They're still giving up the game.
We need to go ahead and start one then. If we need one, we got to make it. We got to do it.
You know what I'm saying? I hear that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so what other question? Let me see. What was the other question that I had for you? So that was basically how do you avoid? Because I've been hearing a lot of stuff like redlining and people playing with people as far as like establishing stuff for getting houses and stuff. How do you avoid that, and how do you notice it? Like if you're new to the game and you green, you don't really know. How do you see those things? What are signs?
So you talking about as far as like redlining in communities and trying to keep black people out as far as being able to invest and buy. A lot of that. In the past, of course, a lot of that stuff was more up in front. It was blatant. We know they were doing it. So now a lot of that stuff is happening behind the scenes. So it's not as blatant. So you don't necessarily. When it's happening to you, but it's not going to be clearly put in front of you like that. They just may not return your phone calls, or they may not approve your loan or whatever behind the scenes. So the only thing you can do is, number one, when you're getting into investments, it's all about networking. So you got to go out and build your network, build relationships with people in the industry, and kind of get on the inside more than anything else. So get tied in as much as possible. If you're trying to get in real estate investment especially, there's all kind of networking groups around, pretty much all around the country. In every city, they got real estate groups everywhere. All they do is talk about real estate investment. They do meetups. They got Facebook groups, online groups, whatever. So just get plugged into the community as much as possible so you can really know what's going on as far as in the industry. Number two is just, making sure that you got everything tight on your end. So like we talked about being legitimate, whether it's your own personal credit or your business, make sure everything is legitimized so you don't have any problems and they can't push back on you because you're not coming to the table with everything lined up like you're supposed to, in those situations. And then number three, the biggest thing we can do right now so we can control our neighborhoods and control what we're doing, we got to own where we live first. That's where everything starts at. If you paying rent somewhere, all you're doing is making somebody else rich. So own where you live. When you own where you live, you got control. There's control and ownership. So we got to start there, and then we can build off of that. So.
Okay, and that's big facts. Okay, so you deal with real estate. Let me ask you this. I've been looking at trying to get into dealing with foreclosures or whatnot, and like picking up contracts and then selling the contracts. Is that something that I should get into, or what's your thoughts on that?
Definitely. I mean, when you look at anybody out here who's ever built wealth, you know that real estate is going to be part of their portfolio on some level. So for sure, again, just like I was talking about, start with, owning where you live. You, of course, can also, what you talked about as far as selling contracts, that's called wholesaling, where you go out and find the distressed properties, whether it be somebody going into foreclosure or just, somebody who maybe inherited the property, you just don't want to keep it from the family and they're trying to get rid of it. You can definitely get into the business that way without a lot of money out of your pocket by tying up those contracts, finding the deals, and then reselling those contracts to other investors who are going to, in the end, purchase it, rehab it, and then flip it, finish the project. So that's definitely a low-cost way where you can get into the industry, learn the business, and then kind of bootstrap your way up to, okay, I was wholesaling first, now I'm going to start fixing and flipping. Then from there, maybe start buying properties and building up a portfolio where you're holding on to properties and actually renting those out.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that. Okay. So that, because I'm thinking about doing it. It's a guy that teaches the class, and I didn't know if I should pay the money for the class, because I ain't want to pay and then find out it's some bullshit. You got to pay to get in the door, but once you get in the club, you be like, what the fuck is this? You sit hold on, that's not the club I paid for. So that's what. But it sounds like it might be it's legit. So I think I might have to roll the dice with him and learn a little bit. You gotta learn the game, you know what I'm saying? And I don't mind paying to play if we playing right, you know what I'm saying? So definitely.
Oh yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, I don't know who's doing the class, but do your research on them, make sure they're legit and they're actually out there doing this on a daily basis and not just spitting some information to you that they heard on YouTube and now they're trying to pass it off as theory. Make sure they out there in the field. That's why I was saying it helps as far as getting involved in the real estate groups, because they know who really do stuff and who really just talk stuff.
Okay. All right. Definitely. So do you have any other books that you wrote or that you plan on writing?
Right now, I mean, that was the first book that I released. I am going to do a second edition to that book that will be coming out here soon. And that second edition is also going to come with a workbook that kind of helps you as far as going through and, giving you more step-by-step information as far as building your credit. And then from there, I am going to do a follow-up book where, okay, now you built your credit. Now what? What do I do with it? So as far as different things like we were talking about here, where you can start leveraging your credit to invest and start building wealth from there. So I'll talk about the next phase. So.
Okay. Now, I just remember I did have one more question about credit. Okay, so you got good credit, everything good. How do you protect it from people come with the bullshit? How do you protect that?
So when you say protected, are you talking about as far as like from an identity theft standpoint, or what do you mean as far as people coming at you?
Okay, like for an example, I had someone call me and said I owed them some money, and I didn't know what it was from. It was just like somebody that said, "Oh yeah, it's a bill. We didn't got it, and we supposed to collect on it or whatnot from you. We gonna send it to your creditor if you don't pay it now." And I'm looking at it like, yo, I don't know what you're talking about. If you send it to the creditor and they legit, I do owe them. Now I'm hit and I gotta pay them back. And if I pay them now when it's not legit, then they done got me out some money. You know what I'm saying? And then
I got you.
So how do you protect from stuff like that?
So in those situations, I mean, if it's a creditor calling you or like a collection agency or somebody like that just trying to say you owe a balance, like I talked about before, the burden of proof is always on them. So first things first, if they call you on the phone, you have the right to tell them that they can't contact you by phone anymore. Send me proof of this, or send me the information you're talking about by mail first. So have them send you the information by mail. What they're going to send you is called a dunning letter, which is basically the first step is basically notifying you, hey, we've got this debt. We're saying it belongs to you, and we're trying to collect on it. What you can do once you receive that first dunning letter in the mail is you have the right to dispute it or basically make them validate that debt. So you send them a letter back saying, hey, I just received this. I want you to verify that the information is correct, and they have to actually go out and validate that the debt is 100% accurate, that it's timely, and that it belongs to you. Then from there, depending on how they respond, they're either going to say, hey, we can't verify it. So at that point, they'll stop collection activity, and if it's on your credit report, it'll have to come off. Or B, they might come back and say that it's valid, and you can, if they come back and say that they verified it, what you can do is challenge what was your method of verification at that point. So you go back and say, okay, well, you saying you verified this, how did you verify it? What information did you get? Where did you get it from? because they have to provide that information from you, and if they can't, that's another reason that that item may not be, have to stay on your credit report, or you may not have to necessarily, it may not be valid that you would have to pay them for that particular debt. That makes sense.
Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense. So basically, your credit really is power. And if somebody come and try to take it, they got to do a lot of footwork. And you got to make them do the footwork. So you good as long as they doing the footwork. And if they do all that footwork and it come out that it's legit, then pay them people, man. And get rid of that shit, man. Yeah, I like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I had no idea that you could make them do like that type of crazy footwork. No idea.
Yeah, that's what your right. That's why they created the Fair Credit Reporting Act. That protects your right in the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act. So people can check it out. You can actually download these documents. FCRA, Fair Credit Reporting Act, or Fair Debt Collections Practices Act. That actually governs the collection agencies as far as what they can and can't do. So if you ever catch them violating your rights, you can actually sue them, and they have to pay you money if they violate your rights by doing things they're not supposed to do when they're trying to get you to pay some money.
Okay, yeah. The credit really is power. Credit, you know what I'm saying? Believe that. Okay, so we on the lookout for part. We on the lookout for part
sure.
2. And we definitely gonna do the workbook once we get part 2. And when part 2 come out, yeah, I'm definitely gonna hit your line again, and we're gonna do this all over again. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And definitely talk about part 2.
Yeah, I'll be glad to jump on, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you once again. You know what I'm saying? This is Supreme Beast Boxing Talk. It's your boy Cadillac Red. You know what I'm saying? I had the homie Thomas Few come through. You know what I'm saying? Bless us with mastering the credit game. You know what I'm saying? For those of y'all that don't know, go get you a copy of that. Where they could get the book at?
So they can actually they can jump right on Amazon and grab it, man. So go to Amazon.com and put in Master the Credit Game in the search, and it should pop up.
Okay. All right. And on that note, man, you want to tell the people how they can follow you?
Oh, for sure. So if they're trying to follow me, like on Facebook, Instagram, they can follow me at Thomas J. Few Sr., or they can catch me at Ohio Property Squad. I got stuff out there on that.
Land of our own, league of our own. We just need to be home, teaching our own. That's reason alone, that's reason enough. Where we are the throne and we are the gods. Where we are the judge and we are the jury. Where we are the law and we are the attorneys. Where we are the heart and we are the stock. Where we are the stock and we are the stock.
Born black, gon' die black. See, these is my raps, never care about Iraq. Shit, they don't care about Chirac. See, that's where my mind's at. They quick to deny facts, but ain't no facts. Just that I'm black.